Ricoh GR3. This is the best camera for street photography that most of us should not buy. Yeah, you hear me right. Coming in at only 257 grams and at only like 10 centimeters of length, it is smaller than my phone. And at more or less 1,000 euros, dollars, depending where you come from. This could be the perfect camera to take with you every single day. You go for a walk, take the camera with you. You go to the supermarket to buy some groceries, you get this camera with you. You go out with friends, you get the camera. You go out with your dog or whatever. Anytime, anywhere. You just put this thing in your pocket and, go. But this is only on paper. When you do a real world test, things can change, like everything in life. Last weekend I attended a street photography workshop in which they let us test the Ricoh GR3 and the GR3X. The workshop was hosted by Enshot Academy. Shout out to these guys. If you find yourself in Verona, Italy, and you want to take a photography class, or you have some gear that you want to sell or buy used gear, these guys are pretty good. They have a lot of stuff and they're really nice people. So as I was saying during the workshop, they let us test, in real world these cameras. I was shooting with the GR3, which has an 18mm lens. It's like the equivalent of the 27, something like that. Or you would have a 27mm lens which is the equivalent of a 40. I chose the 18mm because I am looking to shoot a little bit wider nowadays. First impression, it is lightweight, like super lightweight. It's so small. I've never seen a camera smaller than this. Even my old compact camera was bigger. So it kind of feels almost like a phone, which means that you are more keen to take it with you wherever you go. Just slide it in the pocket and you're good to go. Alright, build quality. It is built like a toy, it feels like a toy, it looks like a toy, and this could be a good thing because people might not take you super seriously, so that means you are sneaky and stealthy and you could take photos in situation where people wouldn't feel that comfortable with you taking a photo if they see you with a bigger camera. So that could be a plus. But it is plasticky and it doesn't feel very good in the hand. Which takes me to the next point, which is ergonomics. There are no ergonomics at all. It's just like it's square, which is not a big issue for me because I use Fujifilm cameras, which are notoriously famous for not having very good ergonomics, like big old DSLRs. It doesn't have an EVF. You can mount one, but then it would defeat the purpose of the camera. You cannot slide it in your pocket anymore. Maybe you could, like if you have a big jacket, but yeah, I have found myself raising the camera to my eye level to look through the EVF more than once, but I don't really have an issue with that. I'm okay with shooting only with the LCD. The menus on the Ricoh GR3 are quite intuitive. It was the first time I used the camera and I didn't have too many problems. It was quite intuitive. I could find everything that I wanted to. Maybe there were a few features that I didn't know how to use them, but then again I only had the camera for 8 hours or something like that. As far as dials and buttons are concerned, I find them to be quite good because you have a D-pad, you can switch between the modes with the dial, and there are a few function customizable buttons, which is always a plus. Alright, battery life. Let's just say that the battery is shit and it doesn't last more than 200 photos. Like, you get 200 snaps and then more or less it's done. Together with the camera we were given a power bank so that we could charge it on the go, which is a good thing that you could charge the camera while you're not using it. So I've had this for I don't know, an hour or something. Battery is depleting fast. I think that if you use single point autofocus in a single mode, not continuous, and if you turn off the IS, you could improve the battery life. If you're shooting all day long, I think you should have at least 3 or 4 batteries. If you're going out for the day, you can charge the camera on the go, you can charge the batteries on the go with the power bank through the USB-C port. But keep in mind that as soon as you turn on the camera, charging will stop. What's the point in having such a small camera if I have to bring 3 or 4 extra batteries or a power bank with me. I mean, I usually carry the power bank anyways, but it's an extra thing that I have to think about. Are you willing to make this compromise? Last but not least, the camera gets really warm after half an hour and people were complaining. It's not hot that you cannot use it, but it gets pretty warm. I wonder during summer what happens. We've been told that the first and the second generation don't get warm when you use them. I have no idea if that's true or not, but in my experience it got pretty warm. Let's talk about the stealth on this camera. I think this is the main reason why you would get this camera, because it's stealthy. You go unnoticed everywhere. It gives you the feeling that you don't really have a camera with you, although you do have a camera, and people don't seem to notice me as much. You can blend in without a problem. You look more or less like a tourist. While shooting with the Ricoh GR3, I felt a little bit more at ease with taking pictures. That could be because we were like 20 people in a group taking photos of stuff and people around us, and that makes you feel a little bit more like, okay, fuck it, there's my friends and colleagues here, so it's okay, nobody's gonna fuck with me. But at the same time, it's also the fact that the camera is so small and, you know, you just go unnoticed, and a little bit of both. But yeah, it's definitely a plus, the stealthiness of this camera. Here are some more features that I liked about this camera. Various focus modes, like the one where you can focus to infinity, like you have this distance. If you know that most of your subjects are going to be more or less 2 or 3 meters from you, you can turn on the snap focus and everything after those 3 meters is going to be in focus. Also, you can use this option where the snap focus only activates when you press the shutter directly without focusing first. In theory, what you do is you half press the shutter so that you can focus, and then you fully press to take the shot. With snap focus, if you fully press the shutter without even, focusing first, it's going to focus, to infinity after 3 meters, which is a pretty interesting feature to have when you shoot street photography. The touchscreen on this camera is the most responsive touchscreen that on a camera that I've ever tried. It's almost like a phone. I know, it just feels good. The turn on time is blazing fast. As soon as you hit the button, you're ready to take a picture. The stabilization on this camera is so good. It's like, wow. The IBIS on this bad boy is pretty damn good. Everything is handheld. The thing that I think I like the most about the camera is the fact that it's a PhotoCentric camera. So you can shoot some video with it, but it sucks. So I think they made it on purpose so that you only shoot pictures with the camera. So you can shoot like 1080p video, but the quality is just bad. Just awful. This is a thing that I learned during the workshop, and is the fact that this camera shoots in DNG. It doesn't have a proprietary RAW file like Fujifilm or Canon or Sony or whatever. This means it can be opened by any computer, by any software, no problems. Image quality. Bravo, Ricoh. Honestly, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the files to be so good. They don't have the Fujifilm colors, of course, because only Fujifilm has those colors, but the files are really, really nice to work with. The color profiles of the camera aren't that good. You only have 2 profiles, and they're okay. The black and white profiles are really good though. Highly suggest to shoot the contrast one because it's pretty damn good. But generally, the files give you a lot of flexibility if you want to edit your photos in post, which I most of the times do. The Ricoh GR3 and the GR3X to me are the backup of my backup. Let's put it this way. I couldn't really see myself shooting with them. They just don't feel right in my hand. And I'm really, really glad that I've tried them, because lately I've been looking into getting a more pocketable camera to carry with me everywhere. I highly suggest that you test them out, you try them out and see how they feel in the hand, and see how you like the photos that you're getting with them, the mood, everything, if you enjoy shooting with them. Because if you use a camera that you don't enjoy shooting with, it defeats the purpose. Because I find myself always switching to the Fuji. I'm shooting a little bit with the Ricoh, then the battery will die, then I have to connect it again to the power bank, and then Basically, what happens is I'm constantly switching between them. I just don't feel like I'm liking the vibe of the Ricoh GR3. I think the best camera is the one that you got with you and the one that, you know, makes you want to take pictures with. You're happy to take it with you, you know, put it in your pocket and go around. To me, this camera isn't. Maybe for you it's the perfect camera, who knows? Will I get this camera? Should you get this camera? As far as I'm concerned, I'm too heavily invested in Fujifilm. My workflow is pretty fast with Fuji files and Fuji colors and everything, and it wouldn't really make sense for me to, you know, just change system right now. On my website you can find the full gallery with all the pictures taken with the Ricoh GR3 and the X-T4. Take a look at them, see which one you like better, and maybe let me know. I don't know. Follow me on my socials, link in description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bro, I really love talking about cameras. If you also like talking about cameras, I guess that's why you're here, you should check out this video right here, or this one. It's pretty fucking good.